Alrighty, and we're recording. Welcome to this evening's Teamzy webinar for Beachbody coaches. My name is Lisa Swain, and I'm the Director of Customer Experience here at Teamzy. So I want you to know that I'm a resource for you. So if anything else after tonight's call, you will know that you have someone here in the office that you can reach out to if you need help along the way. So here's what I have planned for this evening. We are going to start by talking through some of the tips and tricks for setting up your Teamzy. So even if you've navigated through that process or you've just started, make sure you stick with me because I am going to have some tips for really keeping that as painless as possible when you're bringing in all of your different contacts and setting your goals and things like that. All right, so we're going to cover setup. Then we're going to move over to your power hour sessions, okay? I'm going to kind of highlight the different features or the different elements of this tool that you should definitely leverage when you've got, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour of your day devoted to your business. So stay tuned because that power hour session is going to be awesome. Last but certainly not least, we're going to jump into following up like a pro. Because I know it and you know it, the fortune's in the follow-up, but that can be, the cumbersome point, or people can feel like they're nagging or bothering people. The truth is that following up is an act of love, and I'm going to show you tonight how you can manage all of your follow-ups in one system without having to have, an external app or, post-it notes or a spreadsheet or anything like that. Everything's going to kind of live in one system and work alongside one another. Okay, so once we've covered setup, power hours, and the follow-ups, I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor to questions that you all might have. So definitely jot down the questions that you have as I'm presenting. There's a question and answer section, either right or left of your screen, depending on the browser that you're using. Just feel free to hop right in there and jot down your questions, and then I will answer those in real time for you once we get started. Okay, so question and answer at the end, and we're going to go ahead and jump in now. So I'm going to share my screen with you all. Alrighty, so you should be taking a look at my Teamzy dashboard now. So before I jump in and start talking about the actual logistics of setup, I do want to let you all know that you do have access to a free 30-day trial of Teamzy. So if you've never taken advantage of it, or maybe someone on your team has been thinking about it, tell them to take advantage of that free 30-day trial. No credit card necessary. They get to just sort of jump in and see if it's the right fit for their business. So first step, get that free 30-day trial. Alrighty, from there we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with our setup process. So I'm not sure if you have, like I said, already started the process, or maybe with a few of your lists, but you want to get back to that process. In any case, your setup wizard is going to take you through each and every portion that you need to add information to in the system. So to get to that setup wizard, you're going to go in the upper right-hand corner. You should have a little wheel. And then if you come down, you've got Setup Wizard in that list. That's going to redirect us to the 3-step setup process, okay? So I'm going to take you through each of these steps just so that you know exactly what to expect when you log in on your end. So the first step in setting up Teamzy is going to be to create an income goal. So at Teamzy, the income goal is so vital because this is going to be a lead generation system. We are actually going to help steer you in the direction of your income goal by prompting you to complete certain productive activities every single day. So that first step is really, really important. Where do you want to be 12 months from now? Okay, that's how you want to sort of figure your goal. Even if you've been doing it on a monthly basis, weekly for some people, just take a step back and go ahead and enter your goal on a 12-month basis. All right, so this is not going to be a pretty placeholder, okay? This isn't just something that you glance over at from time to time. Teamzy is actually going to take this number and calculate for you, like I mentioned a moment ago, the number of highly productive activities you need to complete in order to stay on track with that goal. So, step 1, we're going to create a 12-month income goal. Step 2, we're going to create a powerful why, or we're going to make sure that our powerful why is in the system. The reason this is so important is because we know, okay, that anytime you want to make an outward-facing change, it has to start internally, okay, with the self-influence and the self-talk. So we've built this in so that you always have an idea of why you are in this business to begin with, why you should persevere through the challenging moments that, well, will happen, okay? So we've got an exercise in here, so even if you've never created a powerful why statement before, this is gonna sort of pull it out of you little by little. All right, so step 2, we're creating that powerful why. Step 3, we're gonna go ahead and import those contacts, okay? So this can be the meat of setup. Sometimes it can be a little bit scary, but I promise you have a resource here in the office. So if you're thinking to yourself, Jay, I am not tech savvy, that's okay. I am here to help. So stay tuned. I'm going to share my contact information with you right after my presentation portion. All right. So when we are ready to embark on our setup wizard, we'll go ahead and hit start in the lower right-hand corner. Like I said, first step is going to be that 12-month income goal. But really give this some thought, because this will be the number that's used to calculate how many people you need to connect with every day, how many invites you need to send, how many people you need to add to your database on a daily basis. So you've got an idea here of what you want your 12-month income goal to be. Let's say I want to make $100,000 over the next 12 months. I'm going to hit continue, and Teamzy is going to redirect me to the next step. So it's actually started to crunch those numbers. It lets me know that, okay, if I want to make $100,000, I need to connect 2,899 times. And it looks like for some reason my page isn't loading right there. Let me go back to the setup wizard. Okay, so Teamzy lets me know based on that $100,000 goal that I need to connect 2,899 times over the next 12 months though. So even if that number seems like a lot initially, you want to consider it's 12 months. How many people are you already connecting with on a daily basis, weekly, monthly? We are setting your eyes on the prize here, okay? If you want to get from A to B, this next portion is going to let you know exactly what path or what steps you have to take to get to that goal. So let's take a look at what 2,899 connects actually breaks down to on a daily basis. All right, so Teamzy breaks that down. $100,000, 2,899 connects. That looks like it's only about 6 connections to my prospects, 4 to my customers, and 3 to my existing coaches. Now that I can do. That is a bite-sized chunk. So that's what Teamzy is giving you, okay? When it's outlining your goals or breaking them down, it's giving you a bite-sized chunk. Here is where you need to go next. So if you're looking at the recommended goals and you're thinking to yourself, well, I can definitely do that and so much more. Or you know what, those goals are just, I'm gonna double them, or I wanna challenge myself. You have the opportunity to do that here. You can sort of customize the daily goals based on what your dynamic is or what you want your goals to be. So we've let you know you're going from point A to point B. Here is your immediate path. If you've decided you want to hit that path going 100 miles an hour and get there faster, then by all means. So in that case, I would say, you know what, I want to connect with 10 prospects every day versus the 6 that Teamzy recommended. Or you might be thinking, you know, I'm brand new to the business and I just don't have coaches and customers yet. That's okay too. This is that's a temporary status, okay? So what you want to do is basically redistribute your goals so that you're staying on track, but it's more possible for you based on what your team size is. So let's say the recommendation was 6 prospect, 4 customer, and 3 coaches. What I would do if I have no customers or coaches, I would make this 0. I would make my customers 0, and then I would redistribute those 7 into the prospect category. Because if I spend more time and energy on my prospect pool, I'll convert more people into customer and coaches, just how it's gonna work. So let's make this total 13. So now I'm staying on track with my overall connection goal, but I'm doing it in a way, like I said, that's possible for my dynamic. So you can either accept the recommendation for connections, or you can go ahead and alter it per whatever you want your goals to be every day. Now, in addition to your connection goals, so connections to prospects, connections to existing customers, and connections to existing coaches, you are also going to have a goal every day for inviting people and adding them. So at the beginning of all of this, I mentioned that Teamzy is a lead generation system, or a system that is designed to initiate inquiry or interest into the products and services that you offer. So your additions goal or your daily ads are basically going to be just that. Have you introduced anyone new to the products and services that you offer today? Did you meet anyone new? Did you meet the potential for introducing somebody new to the products and services? Did you accept any new friend requests or send any new friend requests? Did you meet anyone brand new face-to-face and belly-to-belly? Those would all constitute additions to your database because you're growing even from a potential state. So, okay, so every day you're gonna have your connection goal, customers, prospect, and coaches. Then you've also got your daily additions goal. And then you have your daily invites. Invites are going to be intentional calls to action, okay? Anytime you invite someone to join you for an event, challenge group, free group, three-way call, whatever the case may be, this gives you the opportunity to sort of track those intentional actions so you can follow up accordingly. All right, so that's gonna be how we break down our goals every day. But if you'd like to alter these, your daily invite and your daily ad, you can do that as well. You simply click in the space and you'd say, you know what, I wanna do 5 invites every day or 6 invites, whatever your choice is. All right, so let's say I'm accepting the recommendation from Teamzy. I'm gonna hit continue here. And the system is gonna redirect me to the next step in the process. Now I'm just glancing over at the list, guys. I do see our hand raised. Like I said, feel free to jump in that question and answer section and I will go ahead and answer those after my presentation. Okay, so we've got the second step in the setup process, which is finding your powerful why. The powerful why, okay, I know I'm talking to the right group, so this is something that you guys are familiar with. The powerful why is basically a tool, okay, that you're gonna use. It ends up being a reminder in your own voice of why you should persevere through the challenging moments that come up in this business, why you got into it to begin with. So if you're kind of struggling with some motivation, you'd like to kind of have an idea of where to start, this video actually walks you through what our creator and founder here at Teamzy, Eric Johnson, it takes you through his process and why he decided that he needed to build a product like this. So feel free to give that a listen if you are struggling with a little bit of inspiration. We'll hit continue and Teamzy is gonna redirect us to the actual process here. So you're just gonna answer a question at a time. Why did you become a coach? And honestly, if you've never done this before, if you're thinking, I'm just not like a super creative person, all you have to do is answer each question. Don't feel like it needs to be overly deep. Each question is designed to sort of pull a little more information out of you, to deepen the overall why. Why did I become a coach? What did I hope to accomplish? Why is that important to me? So these are all going to start sort of getting your wheels spinning, so eventually you start to get to the root of why you chose to get in this business. Now I have a tip here. If you're thinking, Jay, I filled out all of the questions, I answered all of the questions, but my powerful why is not displaying on my dashboard. What you want to do is head back to your setup wizard and come over to the powerful why section, and then what you'll notice is you've answered all of the questions, like you said, but the very bottom field here where you see my why is blank. So what you need to do is just basically copy and paste your answers to the questions above in this little space at the bottom. When you're satisfied, pardon me, you'll hit continue and you're on to the third step in setup, which is going to be to import those contacts. All right, guys, so this is the meat of setup, like I mentioned. Make sure you've got a pen and paper. I'm going to go ahead and give you some different tips and things that you should keep in mind when you're going through the setup process. Just going to grab a sip of water here. Okay, guys, so when you're setting up Teamzy or importing your contacts into Teamzy, the first thing that you want to consider is that Teamzy is designed to help you consolidate your many lists into one master list. So in that, we completely understand that you've got a list in Facebook and then one in your back office. Then you might have created a custom spreadsheet. You know the one I mean, with all of the color-coded columns and the next follow-up date and every note you've ever sent them. That's awesome. Definitely bring that information into the system. You've spent quite a bit of time compiling those details. So go ahead and bring those contacts in. But when you're ready to bring in information, I want you to consider the order in which you import into Teamzy. So that's where we're going to start. The order in which you import your contacts into Teamzy. So the reason that I mention an order specifically is because Teamzy has a duplicate filter built in. So you want to start with the files that have the most information on them, that have, you know, the great email addresses, phone numbers, the whole deal. Because Teamzy is going to be scrubbing down every file for duplicates against the names that already exist in your system. If they already exist in Teamzy, it's just going to skip over them and bring in the next group of people. So I recommend that you start with the most robust files, or files that have the most information. For example, you're going to start with your customers and consultants from your Beachbody back office. So you are going to begin by importing your customers and your coaches from your Beachbody back office. This little video here is actually going to walk you through that process for logging into the Beachbody back office and exporting that file. Our system has been coded to accept that information, put all of the details where they need to go, and even separate out your customers from your coaches. So feel free to go ahead and start with your customers and coaches from that back office. From there, I want you to go ahead and bring in any of those custom spreadsheets that I was just talking about. So if you have a spreadsheet that you've been using to track interactions with customers or prospects, or tracking, you know, all the products that people are buying, different things that they're interested in, you can bring that information into Teamzy, and you'll be able to reference that as you move forward. So go ahead and bring in your custom spreadsheets after your customers and your coaches from Beachbody back office. All right, customers and coaches, custom spreadsheets. From there, I want you to go ahead and focus on your, your cell phone contacts. So cell phone contacts. If you want to bring in your mobile contacts, go ahead and bring them in toward the beginning because they have a lot of information on them. Your cell phone contacts. After that, you can go ahead and bring in your email services. So are you a Gmail user, Outlook, Yahoo, AIM, AOL, whatever the case may be, you can go ahead and export a copy of what's known as like your address book. It'll be compiling a list of people, all the people that you corresponded with by email. So sometimes those lists are great places to start. You get a pool of people that maybe are underserved until now that you can reach out to. So that's just sort of food for thought. Starting with your customers and coaches, going over to any of your custom spreadsheets. From your custom spreadsheets, go ahead and bring in any of your phone contacts, so from your mobile device. After your mobile device, go ahead and bring in your email services. Once you've done those contact lists, I want you to go ahead and bring in LinkedIn connections. LinkedIn connections. So the reason that I mentioned LinkedIn specifically, even though LinkedIn is a social media-ish platform, is that LinkedIn allows its users to own their data. So every connection that you make, you're able to export things like phone number, email address, where they currently work, their position, great usable information that you can use to serve them moving forward. Things like Facebook, social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they do not have these same options. So I definitely recommend that you leverage LinkedIn if you have access. And if you've been connecting with people through LinkedIn. All right, so customers and coaches, then you're going over to your custom spreadsheets. After your custom spreadsheets, I want you to bring in your phone contacts if you'd like to bring them in. After your phone contacts, bring in your email services if you want to bring those in. After that, LinkedIn connections. And then once all of those files are safely tucked into Teamzy, you can feel free to import your Facebook list. Okay, so the reason that I mentioned Facebook last is because Facebook and other social media platforms like Twitter and Instagram are held to some of the highest security and privacy policies that exist. So with that, they cannot simply release their users' data. The same way they're protecting you, they're protecting other users. You are basically going to get a list of first and last name only. That's it. So when you bring that into the system, it's still going to be very useful, however. Okay, this is going to make this is going to put everyone on one list. Okay, so no one's falling through the cracks. You can start to serve and connect with more people in your Facebook list and not just the low-hanging fruit. Okay, so we're going to go over that list one last time. We're going to start with our customers and coaches from our Beachbody back office. After that, I want you to go over to your, to your custom spreadsheets that you may have created. Custom spreadsheets. After that, bring in your phone contacts, your mobile contacts. After that, you can bring in your email services. Email services. After that, you can bring in your LinkedIn connections. Once all of those files have been imported, go ahead and focus on your Facebook file. Now, I normally get at this point the question, can I export Instagram? Can I export my Twitter? You cannot. So currently Instagram and Twitter do not allow you to simply hit export and compile a file or a list. So if you'd like to leverage those followers, you will need to create a manual spreadsheet so that you can bring that into Teamzy. All right, guys. Keeping in mind, Teamzy is scrubbing for duplicates, every file that you add to the system, okay? It's going to search for anyone that already exists, bringing in only the new folks. Now that we've covered the order in which you should import to Teamzy, here are a couple things to keep on your radar that are coming up. So I have a tip. When you're exporting from your Beachbody back office, this video will cover this for you, but something to keep in mind. You can either export your downline to include, your entire hierarchy. This is going to be everybody from your downline, upline, sideline, or you can choose to do only your personally sponsored. So just keep that in mind when you are pulling your lists. You have the option between your full branches or just your personally sponsored. Okay, so once you have navigated all of the other steps and you brought in the other files, everything from LinkedIn to your custom spreadsheets and the whole nine, and you're ready to work on your Facebook, something has been coming up. So Facebook, just like everybody else, okay, even the big guys go through some growing pains. They are in the process of adjusting the way that some of us can pull our data. So if you're thinking to yourself, Jay, I watched the video, I followed the instructions, but I never received the email with the actual file, you are included, okay? So what I want you to do is try this. You're gonna head back over to Facebook. Now in the upper right-hand corner, you've got a little carrot icon or little upside down triangle, whatever however you want to consider it. You can click the little option and you can select settings, second from the bottom. You would have already gone through this process if you're thinking my file never came from Facebook. But in any case, you'll select settings, you'll come over to your general account settings. Very bottom will be download a copy of your Facebook data. You're going to click there. Now again, if you have already gone through this process, you have already clicked Start My Archive in green. But lo and behold, Facebook never sent the email. What they did is they skipped a step. Okay, they've actually updated the file and they popped it right in this area for you. So if you've been waiting any more than 1 hour's time, if you requested your Facebook archive, you hit Start Archive here, Facebook promised you the email, but it never came in any more than 1 hour ago, I want you to head back to your settings area, right back to this area. And what you'll notice is that instead of it saying Start My Archive in green, it will actually say Download My Archive. Again, they skipped a step, they popped the file right in there so that you can click on it and automatically download. That's the one thing to keep in mind with Facebook right now. If you've been waiting any more than 1 hour, head back to your settings section and that should help. If you need any more assistance, stay tuned. I am going to share that contact info. Back to Teamzy. Okay, so those are going to be sort of the things to keep in mind as you're bringing in files and contact lists. Would be just that change with Facebook, and then ultimately, do you want to import only your personally sponsored, or do I want to include, my entire team, that kind of thing. All right, when you are ready to import your files into the system, this video, the very bottom, will walk you through importing into the system that I'll show you here in real time. Okay, so when we're ready to import contacts into the system, you want to consider what format it's in. Is this a Facebook file? Is this a COO file or a file that came from my back office? Pardon me. Is this a CSV file? So if you're unsure of the formats, or if you get off the call and you weren't sure of what I said or anything like that, there's a little list here right when you get to the import page. It lets you know, okay, is this a Facebook? Is it a COO? Again, COO just means it came from your back office. Or is it a CSV file? Comma, separated value, CSV. If you're thinking at this stage, Jay, I would have no idea how to check a format. I don't even know where to start. That's okay. We have built a great filter right in for you, okay? So you can select any file and Teamzy will tell you yay or nay. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. So I will select my file. Teamzy's gonna run that initial screen. It lets me know, okay, this file can be successfully uploaded. So you're looking for that little green check mark here. Once you get that message, you can move forward. But before I hit continue here, I can do a few things. I can click on advanced import options, and now this is gonna let me tag or sort of identify all of these lists that I'm bringing into the system so that you can sort of stack the odds in your favor. When you're going from, okay, I'm adding 100 names here, then 500 from Facebook, then another, 30 or 40 from LinkedIn, it starts to add up on you. So in that case, sometimes it's going to be nice to be able to glance over, at one glance know, oh, that person's a Facebook friend, or we connect through LinkedIn. That's right. It gives you, at least just the edge of the string so you can pull. All right, so let's say this is a list of my Facebook friends. I'll go ahead and type in Facebook there. You can create as many or as few tags as you'd like. You customize them per your needs, and then you would just hit continue here. Teamzy is now going to apply that one tag to every single name on that list without me having to do it manually. So if there are 500 names, all 500, 1,000, so on. Teamzy is now letting me know it's moving on to the next step. It's automatically mapping my file. It's grabbing the phone numbers, putting in the phone number field, email addresses with email addresses, and so on. So I will hit continue here, and we are on to the next step. I know you're thinking, well, Jay, you said there were 3 steps to setup. And we have done that. We have completed the major elements of setup. We have set our goals, we have created our powerful why, and we have started importing contacts. But Teamzy is letting me know, well, yes, I've got everything I need, but this piece is really going to help Teamzy work with you. So your next step in Teamzy is going to be to rank or prioritize each and every person in your database. The reason we want you to do this is because Teamzy is actually going to create for you not only, the actual the action item goals, so how many of each activity do you need to complete. It's also going to create a list of who you need to connect with and when, every single day, without you having to scrub down any lists or figure out where you left off last with anyone. All of that will be listed right on your dashboard. Now, the only way that Teamzy can do this is if you tell it who is the most important to you. Who has the highest priority? Who do you want to spend more of your time, energy, resources on? And to do that, you're going to go down your list and just say, you know what, these are my 5-star prospects, customers, and existing coaches, or rock stars, people I want to connect with really frequently, or, in the greatest frequency right now for the presets. So what that would mean is my 5 stars are going to come up automatically for follow-up every 30 days like clockwork. My 4 stars every 60 days like clockwork. My 3 stars every 90 days. My 2 stars every 120 days, and my 1 stars will never come up automatically for follow-up. So what I like to say at this point is you want to consider that you are literally telling Teamzy, okay, how often you want to connect with someone. That's what the ranking corresponds to more than anything else. It absolutely lets you know at one glance how important that person is, but it tells Teamzy exactly how often they should be coming up for follow-up. So the one thing to keep in mind, Teamzy is going to apply a 3-star ranking. A 3-star ranking to everyone upon import. It's kind of a safety net so that no one falls through the cracks, even if it takes you a little bit of time to get in there and whittle away at that list little by little, ranking and readjusting people. Teamzy's just going to start serving people up to you because it knows these people can't just go without connection. So everyone comes in at a 3-star ranking. When you are ready to start with that process, you'll scroll down and hit rank in blue. This video takes you through what we're chatting about live. Okay, so on this page, from here, you've got a list of everyone that you just imported into the system. Teamzy is going to automatically display everyone's active rank, and you would go down this list and say, you know what, this person's a 4-star, or yeah, you know what, Rachel can probably be a 2-star, Laura's definitely a 5, Rena's a 1. So it's going to be that simple, okay? You go down the list, cherry pick the people that jump out at you, okay? The 4s and the 5s at first. That's usually our recommendation. Because when you bring in a list of, 500, then 1,000 names, you might want to take it in just passes. Try and get in and cherry pick your 4 and your 5 stars. Everyone else is in that 3-star place where it's kind of that safety zone so that you can start connecting with people. So you would just go down the list, changing the ranks, and the system will do an automatic save for you. Let's say you get to the bottom of the list and you're satisfied with the changes you've made, or you come across a name, better yet, that maybe you don't need to have in your database for whatever reason. You don't want to have them in the system. You can always click to the right of their ranking. You have a little tiny trash can. So if you click on the trash can, it will allow you to delete the person outright, moving the next list of people up so that you can just keep connecting. When you're going through setup and you're ranking, something else to keep in mind is the information that actually came into the system. So I can click on Marlo's profile here, and you'll notice this becomes his active profile to the right. So we see his name at the top. I have his current rank. I could click here and change it this way if I'd like, or I can just click in and change him on the list. I can scroll down and add to his tags. So right now, oh, that's right, Marlo and I are Facebook friends, but he's really interested in Shift Shop too. So I can actually just click in the tags and say Shift Shop. Or you can say Shakeology, or whatever the case is, you can create as many or as few tags as you'd like. the way that tags work are that now every time that I add someone or identify them as interested in Shift Shop, I'll be adding them to this overall list. So I can always click on my tags along the left-hand side, and it's going to arrange for me everyone that has been designated or identified as Shift Shop or Facebook or whatever the case is. So that's going to be how I use my tags. As I'm going through this list, as I'm going through the profile, in addition to the tag information, I've also got a follow-up line. So what's really great about the follow-up line in Teamzy is that you are actually going to be setting the next follow-up with people. You might be chatting with someone, or let's say you're transitioning into a new system. But on your spreadsheet, it says that you're supposed to connect with Marlo next Wednesday. But Marlo's a 4-star, so he's not coming up for 60 days. Don't reach for your calendar. Don't grab the Post-it notes. What you can do is you can actually set that follow-up right in Teamzy, so the system will automatically remind you. I'll select this little where it says default right now, because that's telling me, again, it's going to be 30, 60, or 90 days, depending on what his rank is. Or I can click that drop down and say, you know what, I want to follow up with him tomorrow, in 2 days. Or I can come all the way down to the custom date and select from a calendar. I'm going to follow up with Marlo next Wednesday. And that'll be that. So that's going to be how you set follow-ups in Teamzy. The next line in the profile is going to be your member type. So you're going to be bringing in people from Facebook, from LinkedIn, your cell phone. There's no way for Teamzy to know that they're a customer or a coach if they are already. So you'll just need to go in there and readjust. Oh, you know what? Actually, Marlo's a customer. And you would just make that change. So Teamzy will do an automatic save for you, and you'll just move along to the next item. You have areas for information like contact-based details. How do I reach out to this person? Phone number, email, so on. You've also got social media links, okay? So that'll be, social media links are really great because this is another little tool that helps you quickly pull up someone's profile so you can send them a message without having to open Facebook, search for the contact, select Messenger. I know this is going to be, we're talking like seconds or minutes here, but it adds up little by little, especially if you've only got an hour of time for your business. So if I wanted to add a social media link, let's say, you know what, Eric Johnson and I. So I'll find Eric on the list. This becomes his profile, so I'll see his name at the top. I can scroll down. I see I've got information for him. But you know what? Oh, I don't have his Facebook link. So what I'll do is I'll go over to Facebook. What I can do is search for the person by name. It brings up their overall profile. From here, I can go ahead and select in the URL where it says facebook.com. If you actually click there, it's going to highlight the entire thing. It's usually facebook.com/the person's name. But I would just actually copy and paste it here. Come back over to Teamzy. I drop that in the Facebook area. Click anywhere else on the screen, and it does an automatic save for me so that I can just keep moving. So in a minute, when we talk about power hours, I'll show you how I use that little tool. Okay, so that's going to be how you add social media links. If you scroll down, you've got areas for personal details, birthday, spouse's name, children's names, things like that. If you have a piece of information that doesn't fit perfectly in one of these fields, we do have a little notes section created for you. So you'll notice here that you're in details. So right below the words member type here in the profile, you should see, it's hard for me to gauge where my cursor is for you guys. So right below member type, we should see details. If we click to the right of details, that should be notes. This gives you the ability to kind of make notations about that person, where you left off. If you're bringing in information from like a spreadsheet that you've been collecting notes, you can bring that in and it will display in this area for you. So for example, I imported the note that, oh, I need to follow up with him about 3-day refresh. So this just gives you an idea of how you can use that notes section. These are notes to you, from you. Client or customer or a coach doesn't get the copy. This is again just a reference point for you moving forward. All right. In addition to that, in the profile, you will have an activity feed. Your activity feed is going to be the history record for each individual contact. So if I want to see everything that every way that I've communicated with Eric that I have tracked in Teamzy, I will see it there under the activity feed. So that's going to be your relationship profiles, sort of in a nutshell, okay? You've got the ability to add or create tags. You can go ahead and set follow-ups custom if you'd like, outside of the 30, 60, or 90 days. And then you've also got the ability to track information. everything that you'll need to contact and reach out. All right, so as you're going through setup, that's what I recommend. Go down the list, cherry pick your 4 and your 5 stars. As you're doing that, glance over at the information that came in. Make sure you've got everything that you need to connect or reach out, and that you have all of the information that you'll need when you do reach out to reference the last time that you connected, or how you want to serve them moving forward. All right, so that's going to be your relationship profiles. As you're going through, I talked to you about glancing over at this member type area, so you can say, oh, you know what, Eric should be a customer, or Eric should be your coach. You can make that change there. Above the list of names, however, you see rank mode here. That's what's letting us see everyone's active rank. When you come over to your team page, it might look a little more like this, where it's everybody's names in white, so you're allowed to click on and highlight someone. Instead, what you can do is actually click type mode. This will let you see where everyone is typed. Are they in, are all of my customers in the right category? Are all of my prospects? I could easily go down this list and say, oh, you know what, these are customers. You're a coach, you're a coach, you're a coach. And then from there, I can just keep moving. So this is going to kind of evolve with you as your relationships evolve. So keep in mind that you do have the option to come back to this. So you don't have to agonize or get stuck here. Go through, cherry pick the rankings that kind of jump out at you, readjusting those people, make sure everyone's typed appropriately. And then once you've done that, that's really the meat of setup, okay? That's going to put you in a position where you can now lean into Teamzy for its power hour tools. So let's head over to the dashboard. In Teamzy, your dashboard is going to be sort of like your virtual accountability partner, okay? This is going to give you an idea of how close or how far you are from meeting your goals on a daily basis. So when I log in, this lets me know exactly how many activities I need to complete. This is how you'll read your dashboard. You've got your today's activities, and then it's going to arrange by category: prospects, customers, and coaches first. And the number below the category name will be how many you have left to complete for the day. So I have 6 prospect connections to complete, 4 customers, 3 coaches. That's going to be how I read my connection goals. Then I've also got that goal for daily invites and daily additions. When I'm ready to get started, I would basically scroll down to what's known as my Who's Up Next section. This is the real moneymaker, guys. So this is going to be the area that allows you to actually view who you need to connect with and when every single day. It's doing this by arranging your contacts by priority that you've set and the last point of communication. So Teamzy is kind of doing the legwork for you, where you were having to stop at your last, when you connect with someone and decide when you're connecting next. Teamzy is just going to queue that up for you so you don't have to worry about it. So let's see what that looks like. So if I scroll down to my Who's Up Next section, it's going to arrange for me the people with the highest priority who I have not connected with in their default window. So it looks like that's Laura. Oh, but you know what? Laura's headed out of town, or for whatever reason, I can't reach out for a week. We have a quick skip option. So if you need to just kind of remove that person from the list for now and have them come back up, you can select skip 1 week here to the right of the person's name. So if I select skip 1 week, it's going to immediately remove Laura, rearranging my list so I always have 5 viable names to look at, okay? It will automatically serve Laura back up to me in 7 days' time without me having to look for her. Okay, in addition to that, so what Teamzy is going to do is it's going to rearrange. So now it brings up my next 5-star. Looks like it's Eric Johnson. So if I'm ready to connect with that person, I would come over to the connect or conversation box. Pardon me. Seem to have something in my throat. Okay, so you'll come over to the conversation or the connect box here to the right. This is going to allow you to actually jot down the nature of that conversation or that connection. So if I knew what I was saying to Eric, if I was just checking in about something, I could basically say, just start typing in there. This is going to be as detailed or not detailed as you want it to be. It's a reference point for you so that the next time they roll around for connection, you will have that reference point to say, oh, that's right, we talked about her recent diagnosis with celiac, or whatever the case is, okay? This is going to be sort of your creating a reference or an archive for yourself. Now, let's say someone starts coming up on, I've got names coming up on my list that, I don't even remember how I know these people. I just imported like 500 friends. So right from the dashboard, without you opening your spreadsheet or clicking over to their profile, I can see right here in this area, I can select to the right of the connect area, activity. So this will let me see any previous activity that I've done with them. So that activity feed that I was talking about in their profile. I can also click on details like we talked about a minute ago. That will show me, oh, I've got an email address, a phone number. Oh, we're Facebook friends. That's right. This is just a way for me to just kind of highlight for you how useful the tags can be. If you set the identifier, you can see it and use it. So if he was tagged as 3-day refresh or a shift shop or whatever the case is, I would see that right in his tags, and then I could serve him or address the conversation accordingly. Let's say with all of that information, I am still not sure what I want to say. It happens. So you have two choices always. You can kind of sit around and agonize over every single message you send to each and every lukewarm prospect. But the truth of the matter is that's not easily reproducible. That's not something that you're going to want to teach to anyone, nor are they going to want to learn it from you. So in this case, we have built in scripts and dialogues, kind of a way for you to sort of have a starting point, okay, a seed to plant with people without having to stop and agonize over each and every word that you send to people. So for example, if I wanted to send Eric a quick message through Facebook, I could click on script in the upper right-hand corner. That's going to arrange for me how I want to connect with him. Do I want to send him a Facebook message, text, email, Insta, whatever the case is? I'll select Facebook. Teamzy is then going to arrange for me any scripts that I want to access that are prospect and for Facebook. So we've got connect number 1, connect number 2, connect number 3, and then follow-up number 1 all the way up to follow-up number 10. So it kind of removes the guesswork, okay? So you can come in here and say, okay, I'm going to send him connect number 1. I'll copy that. Because Facebook messages have to go directly through Facebook Messenger, I do a copy and paste. I like to do this so I know exactly what I send to people because I will start 20, 30, 40 conversations in an hour. So this way I know exactly what I'm sending him. I would do another copy. Now earlier I promised that I would show you guys my little tip for quickly pulling up someone's Facebook profile or navigating over there so I can send them a message. In Eric's case, you guys watched me save his Facebook link. So now I'll go over to details, and if I click on Facebook here, it's going to automatically bring me to his profile. So now I can select message, hit send, come back over to Teamzy. It's still in the connect area. I would edit that if I had personalized it or if maybe they responded and I wanted to just make a quick notation. You don't have to. I would then select how I sent that message. That's by Facebook. And then I've got a little invite option. So I can go ahead and check mark that box and say, okay, I'm inviting Eric to do something. I'm not, I'm just stopping by to say hello, so I can leave that unchecked. I would hit log connect. That now sends a message to my dashboard that I've connected with one of my prospects. It removes Eric from my list so that I can just keep moving along. So the next person comes up and I would just keep connecting. The next person up for follow-up is Will. Let's say that we spoke about upcoming challenge group. Okay, in this case, because I am speaking to him about something specific, I am intentionally inviting him to join me for my challenge group. I would say, you know what, we spoke by phone. I can indicate here that it's an invite, and then I've got a select type option. If I select that type, it's gonna let me say free group, challenge group, business opportunity, try the shakes. This is creating a report for me that I can pull. So, you know, at the end of the week, if I want to see how many invites I sent for challenge group versus an event that's coming up or a free group or anything like that, I'll have the option. So I'll indicate that it's a challenge group invite. But you know what? Will has to run right now. I really want to follow up with him tomorrow with all of the details, let him know I'm super excited he's going to join me, but he's set to default and he's a 5-star. So that means he's not coming up for 30 days. Instead of reaching for your calendar, go ahead and set the follow-up right in the system. So in the upper right-hand corner, I've got a little follow-up drop-down that I can say, again, 2 days, 3 days, any of the presets, or I can come down to custom date and say, you know what, that's going to be, I'm going to follow up with him Wednesday or, you know, next week or in a couple of weeks. So you've always got the option to set a follow-up. Once I log that connect, a few different things have happened. It updates my prospect list, removing the person that I just connected with. Updates my prospect goal, so I now know that I've connected with 2 of my 6 for the day. It's also logged my invite all in one shot, and it added William to my follow-ups list for tomorrow. So that in real time, in addition to my proactive follow-ups where I'm kind of getting in there and consistently connecting with everyone in my database, I've also got my custom follow-ups. That these are just things that, you know, I've got to intentionally check in on certain things or follow up because the fortune's in the follow-up. So in that case, you can set your own custom follow-ups right in Teamzy. All right, guys, this is the perfect time to open up the floor to any questions that you may have, okay? I will jump back in and share more features that I think you guys should focus on. But for now, let's take a look at what questions you've got. For anyone that needs to run, I will go ahead and share my contact information with you. Feel free to give me a call if you ever have any questions, if you need any assistance, or if you needed to schedule a one-on-one or anything like that. Otherwise, feel free, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, to jump in the question and answer section, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. All right, guys, I'm going to stop that share. I will put that back up before we go. Back in Teamzy, while you guys are working on some questions, a few things to keep in mind. So we started all of this by chatting through how you are going to set an income goal in Teamzy. So it's going to be important that you actually track your progress toward that income. To do so, you're going to go over to your business page. Your business page is going to give you all of your business statistics. So this will arrange for you your total income goal, so I can see at one glance what my goal is. And then it's also displaying my progress to that goal. How much money have I actually earned versus my goal? So what you want to get in the habit of doing is updating Teamzy with that progress. You can do that by clicking the little plus symbol here, or in the upper right-hand corner, you can select Add Income. Either are going to redirect you to an itemized income report. You can basically say, I made $100 between the 1st and, I don't know, the 6th. You'd then add this item to your income report. The system will update your totals, and then you'll be able to constantly see an itemized report of, you know, when did I make that money between and how much do I have total. All right. In addition to your income, Teamzy is also going to track your total number of customers, your total number of personally sponsored coaches. You scroll down further, you've got a growth report, an activities report, and your itemized activity history. So what's cool for, what's really great about this report is that this is going to be the area that allows you to pull, okay, you know what, how many invites did I send for challenge groups? So you can get super specific and actually filter. So if you're going to do some follow-ups tomorrow and you want to see, you know, who did I invite to this so that I can follow up tomorrow if you didn't set your follow-ups in real time, know that you've got that as a backup. For any of my paper and pen guys and gals that are thinking, you know, I'm just kind of weaning myself off of this, and not to worry, you can always print a full list of everything that you did today and you can check it out. All right, guys, so that's gonna be your activity history. That's how you track your income in Teamzy. In addition to that, you are also going to be selling people products, okay? So, well, you're gonna sell them before you actually make that income. So to track your sales on an individual level, you're actually going to either just search for the person's name. So let's say I sold Eric Shakeology. I can go ahead and search using the search bar at the top of the page, first or last name. I'll come over to the profile and you'll see that I've got a blue connect button. This would allow me to actually track activity. So did I send an email to Eric, a Facebook message, anything like that? Or I could click on sale. This will let me say, you know what, I sold him Shake Home Direct. This now gets added to his activity history so that I have a running track of everything that I'm doing with him. So again, that just gives you the ability to track your sales and your income. All right, last but not least, okay, we've got the ability to access Teamzy from your mobile app, okay, excuse me, from your mobile phone. We do not have an app yet, so it's not gonna be, you don't have to go to the App Store for it, but what you're gonna do is actually open up your browser of choice. So Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Google Chrome or Safari or whatever you're using on your mobile device. You're gonna type in what you see in the URL now. So in my URL bar now, app.teamzy.com. The word app.teamzy.com. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and sign in, save your login credentials, and then I'm actually going to stop my share really quickly just to show you. What I recommend that you do is you actually save it to your home screen as a little icon. So this is actually my Teamzy app. So if I tap on that, It's going to load my dashboard so that I'll be able to see everything, my list of number of people to contact, how many people I've contacted today, my goals. If I scroll down far enough, I've got that list of names. So this will give you the opportunity to track on the go. You can actually connect with people, adding people to your database as you meet them. So that gives you some different options there. In addition to mobile accessibility, if you are a Gmail subscriber, you can actually link your Gmail to Teamzy and it will allow you to send emails. To do that, let's say, for example, if I wanted to send Melanie an email, I would simply select type and I would come over to send email with the word new by it. If I click on that, it's actually going to, because I've already successfully done the link, it's going to bring up the ability to just create my email. So I could create the body of the email, or I could hit browse scripts here. This is going to let me actually choose from maybe any templates that I saved on file. So you can save email templates on file if you have a killer product email, invite to an event, invite to a challenge group, or anything like that. You can actually save those on file and reuse them in the future. For example, I'll click on email and I've created a 21-day fix template. So I can hit send as email. Now I would basically drop the person's name in there. You'll notice that you have the opportunity to create hyperlinks so that if you want to kind of show someone before and after images, or a link to your site or a link to the product itself, you can go ahead and include all of that. And then you just hit send email at the very bottom. So that's going to give you the ability to send emails directly through the system. Again, one of those things that just helps you start tons of conversations in an hour because you can do it all from one system. All right, so definitely check out the mobile accessibility. Go ahead and check out your Gmail link and make sure that you're tracking your income and your sales in the system. I know I said last but not least, but this will actually be last but not least. One of our brand new features in Teamzy, our team report, is going to give you the ability to not only view your progress, but then you get to bring in your team and monitor everyone's progress toward your goals so that you can keep everybody motivated and on track. So Teamzy gives you the ability to invite your team members who are also Teamzy users to display their progress. This allows you to start, accountability groups. Everybody kind of feeds off of the same energy. Just know that this is built in for free into your Teamzy. All right, guys, that is all of the major features that I wanted to cover with you tonight. Please, like I said, feel free to jump in the question and answer section, and I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have here in real time. All right, guys, if you want to learn about Teamzy beyond tonight, okay, if you're thinking, oh, I might need a little more help, or I'm more of a DIY kind of person and I want to, watch the video and then learn it myself, you've got a university tab left side of your screen in that menu bar. You can select university. This will give you access to FAQs for your network. So you can come over to FAQs for Beachbody. It's going to list for you webinars, tutorial videos, FAQs, basically lots of getting started things. Anytime we release new features, new things like that, we're always going to include information in here. So it's a great place to start. You always have my contact information, so you can reach out to me directly if you'd like. If you get off the call and you're thinking, I don't remember her name, let alone her phone number, in the lower right-hand corner, you have a little tiny help button. That gets you direct access to our live support team, okay? And we do our best to get back to you as soon as possible. All right, guys, that is everything for me. I think that I don't have any questions in the question and answer. So please, like I said, I will stick around with you guys for a few more minutes. If you'd like to ask any questions, you can go ahead and jump in there and I'd be happy to help. All right, guys, and there is my contact information if you need that as you go.